Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. Some info and a warning before we begin. In today's video I've got two stories and both of them have updates. And also, in the first story we touch on the topic of spousal loss. So if that is something that makes you uncomfortable, you might want to skip the first story. Now, let's get started. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user ThrowArray8395. My 29 male girlfriend, 30 male, says I need to get rid of my dead wife's stuff or she's leaving. I first got married at the age of 18 to my girlfriend I'd had since age 15. We enjoyed 6 years of marriage together before she died in a motorcycle accident, leaving me broken and severely depressed for years. A bit over 1 year ago, 4 years after my wife's passing, I met my current girlfriend at a work event and we really hit it off. I decided that it was time for me to start looking for a serious partner again and that my wife would have wanted me to be happy. My current girlfriend and I became more serious over time and we moved in together 2 weeks ago. I've talked with her extensively about my deceased wife and the mental health issues it brought to me, and she has been nothing but supportive and loving. The problems began after we moved in together. I have a small chest that I used to keep under my bed that has a few things that belonged to my deceased wife, along with some photos of the two of us. During the moving process, my girlfriend noticed the chest and asked about it, so I explained what it was and showed her the contents. I didn't really expect it to be a big deal, but since I showed her, things have never been worse for us. She sat me down that night and explained that because I still had the chest and wanted to keep it, it was an indication to her that I hadn't moved on from my deceased wife, and that she didn't think she could continue their relationship unless I get rid of it. I was pretty shocked at this and told her that I needed some time to think about it. Well, it's been 2 weeks now and I still don't know what to do. My current girlfriend and I have had no major problems up until this point, and she's asking me daily when I plan to get rid of it and says she can't live in the same space as the chest. I really don't want to get rid of it, but I want to continue my relationship with her as well. What can I say to get her to understand, or am I being crazy by keeping those things for years? OP, don't get rid of that chest and put it in a safe place because honestly, it sounds like something might happen to it accidentally. Here's the thing that I don't think your current girlfriend understands, is that she doesn't need to compete with your late wife. She's not an ex that can just pop back into your life at whatever moment. Her insecurity is against a memory. And it's not a threat, it's just somebody that lives in a piece of your heart. It doesn't mean that you can't love her unconditionally or give yourself to her. And if she sees it that way, then I think maybe she's not the person for you. And the thing is, you keep all those memories in a chest because, well, they're keepsakes. It's not like you're hanging them on the wall or you've got a shrine built to your late wife or anything like that. She was a part of your life and is now a part of your heart and memory. You can't just get rid of that because she feels insecure about it, and posing an ultimatum between you and the chest is incredibly ridiculous, which makes me double down on thinking that maybe this isn't the person for you, OP. Good for you in overcoming your depression regarding your late wife. Maybe you just need to keep on looking for somebody that accepts you with your memories. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? How would you go about it? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Bookshelf Help says, not everyone can date someone whose partner has passed away. They have to understand or at least navigate it so that they realize they are not in competition with the one who's passed. It's not the easiest thing and not everyone is capable of handling it. There should be respect for the person and the relationship that came before them. Pictures and mementos are memories that don't need to be erased. Now, if they were all over the house and there was no space or little space for her, that would be a different story. Of course, there are times when the partner of the deceased does not make room in their life for someone new, but that does not sound like the case here at all. Kind Direction 8799 says, I am married to a man that lost his first wife when she was 29 and he was 30. They were also high school sweethearts. He has her stuff from high school, her wedding ring, and has her pictures saved on a hard drive. She was a huge part of his life, and I am totally okay that he is keeping memories of her locked away. Sorry, OP, but I think this girlfriend has bad insecurity issues and is jealous of your deceased wife. I also agree to put the chest somewhere that she won't have access to it. Bubbly Awareness 534 says, do not get rid of the chest. You will regret it, especially if it doesn't work out with the new girlfriend, but also if it does. You will probably feel guilty, like if you've erased your late wife and have nowhere to turn when you're grieving her. Your girlfriend is being unreasonable and lacks basic empathy. This is a first sign, but there will be others. She may ask you to stop mentioning her, your late wife, at some point, to stop hanging out with friends that knew her, etc. Most women you will meet will understand your situation and be much more compassionate. Just a Guy 1961 says, don't get rid of it. It is your life. It is part of who you are. If her misplaced jealousy does not allow her to see that, then you should reconsider this woman and her feelings for you. Do you have a good friend or family member that you can leave this with for now? I have seen women destroy these types of memories, move them out of her reach, and then process what is happening. After doing so, I would confront her. Tell her you trusted her and now you are struggling to trust her. 100% truth. People come and go in our lives. Will she be with you long term? Maybe. But right now, you need to safeguard your memories. See if she will be able to be empathetic to your emotions. Good luck. Additional information from OP's comments. I have referred to her as an ex, and so have other people in the past, but it truly never felt right saying that. The day she passed, we were still happy and in love. She's my late wife, not my ex. And I talked about her to my girlfriend. Most of our conversations were about how it took me a long time to be at peace with it and not angry at the world for taking her away and the struggles I went through during the whole process. I feel stupid that I didn't bring up the chest to her in conversation. I'd mentioned I still had some stuff of her, but I guess I should have been more explicit that I had a chest I wanted to keep with me. Okay, well, the community agrees and sees the big picture. OP's girlfriend's jealousy is ridiculous and misplaced. It shouldn't exist at all because it's a memory, not somebody that can just pop up. And from OP's additional context, we can see he still feels kind of guilty about not disclosing everything, but I think he did. He just didn't mention where they were kept. And in my opinion, that's not one thing to just dump a relationship over. Anyways, it's time to move on to the update to see how this story ends. But before that, if you're enjoying this video, please go ahead and click that like button. And don't forget your emojis in the comment section. Those are really fun for me to read. It's a fun hieroglyph to decipher sometimes. Now, let's get on with that update. Wow, I did not expect that amount of feedback at all on the post. Sorry, I haven't responded to many comments. It was a bit overwhelming to wake up to thousands of them, but I wanted to provide some more information and an update about how everything went down. Some people were wondering how often I look at my chest and talk about my late wife. I spend prolonged time with the chest and its contents, usually twice a year, on our anniversary date and her death date. So I'm not constantly opening it and having it out and around and stuff. I feel as though I find the most comfort just knowing that it is nearby, strangely enough. Which is why I wanted to keep it in the house. Most of the conversations about my previous marriage have been prompted by my girlfriend, not me. I can talk about it pretty openly when asked about my late wife, but I seldom bring her up on my own in conversation. She used to be all I ever talked about, and it was annoying and uncomfortable for people in my life. Looking back on a lot of our conversations, my girlfriend would frequently ask questions trying to gauge if I was still mourning or if I was happy again. Now, with the chest incident, that makes sense to me that it has been an unvoiced insecurity for a while. At the time, I suppose I just thought she was asking if I was depressed still. But I see now she was trying to ask if I was over my late wife. When my girlfriend asked me to get rid of the chest, she did in fact mean that I dispose of it. I didn't go into great detail about the conversation we had when she sat me down, but I proposed keeping it more tucked away, not in our bedroom or at another person's home. And she continued to say that I was still hanging on and not ready for a relationship in her eyes, and keeping it somewhere else didn't change that. I am definitely not getting rid of the chest, and by that I mean disposing of it, and it's been locked in my car for the past couple of days while I've been dealing with this. I got some really good advice from you guys and tried to have an open, honest conversation with her today, asking her why the chest was so significant as to give me an ultimatum, and why she felt like I had to get rid of it to continue growing our relationship. She said that throughout the entire relationship we've had, she's always felt like she had to match up to the standards of my late wife or be even better so that I would stay with her, and that me still having the chest was the confirmation that she will always be lesser than. If I got rid of the chest, it would be confirmation that I was ready to give my whole heart to her. This broke my heart, honestly, and I couldn't believe she never told me she was feeling this way and that I didn't see it. It also made me feel confused because I've been trying to show her the best I can that I can give her my heart in other ways. Why do I need to dump these precious memories to do that? You don't. This is all in her head. I told her that my relationship with my late wife and my relationship with her are entirely independent of one another, and that I was focused on building trust and love with her, not trying to replace her or compare her by any means. I told her that I couldn't dispose of the chest because it meant a lot to me sentimentally, but that I wasn't keeping it to hang on or cling to my late wife. I just felt as though it was an important part of my history, and I wanted to honor her memory. Some of the trinkets in the chest were from when we were 16 years old, going to high school dances and learning how to drive together. I couldn't simply trash those. I reassured her that I loved her for exactly who she was, not the position she held in my life or how similar she was to my late wife. I told her that I could see us building a life together and that I was focused on our future, not my past. I told her that there was absolutely no competition and that while the ultimatum hurt me, I was ready to move past this and move the chest to storage somewhere else. It wasn't enough for her. I didn't know what else I needed to say or do to communicate my love and dedication, but she was dead set on me getting rid of the chest or her leaving. I told her a final time that there was not an ounce of a chance I was getting rid of it. Radio silence. Then she got a bag of her stuff, hopped in her car and drove off, ignoring me when I asked what was going on. After calling her multiple times for a few hours, I learned she was staying with a friend, who she called in the car, I guess, so she originally just drove off not knowing where she was going, and making arrangements to move out next week. I'm still in shock, but I mostly feel confused and hollow. Maybe I truly wasn't ready for a relationship. Maybe she is just crazy. Maybe a bit of both. No, OP, I think it's neither. I think you are ready for a relationship, but with somebody who just won't compete with a memory because she will understand that there is no competition. Regardless, this was her boundary and that's it. She just enforced it and moved on. And that's all that there's left to say. So here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Hopefully you do meet somebody who is not as insecure as your current ex-girlfriend. Take care and thank you for sharing. Now, let's move on to the next post that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole with an H, and it's by user ubuvuvug. Am I the a-hole for not having my father walk me down the aisle? For context, I am 26 female and my father has never been in the picture. He left the same day I was born, leaving my mother to take care of me. I'm an only child and don't have any family beyond my mother, as they disowned her when she fell pregnant with me when she was 17. She has been the best mom and rock throughout my whole life. I am very thankful to her for that. Now, back to the point. My fiance and I have been doing wedding planning for a couple of weeks now, deciding on color schemes and venues. A week ago, the topic of how the ceremony will be taking place came up, and I told him that my mother would be walking me down the aisle as I have no father figure in my life. Seeing my fiance is a very traditional man and seeing the idea of my mother walking me down the aisle as not what should happen, he was upset at me saying this and told me I should reconnect with my father so he can give me away. I hate that expression. I told him there was no way I was reconnecting with someone who never tried to be in my life and ran away from his responsibilities, leaving my mom to raise me. When I said this, it turned into a massive argument and resulted in him storming out and staying at his sister's house. The same day, I received countless calls and messages telling me I was a horrible person and needed to suck it up for one day to be the woman I am and should be. I haven't responded to any of these, and I'm just taking some time to myself before I try to talk to him. Yesterday, I found out my fiance reached out to my father and asked him to meet him in a few days. I am beyond pissed and rethinking this whole marriage thing. I have no clue how he found my father, but right now I am with my mom and she is telling me I was in the right. And he is a baby reacting as he did. But in my mind, I'm still having thoughts of if I'm the a-hole for not wanting to be traditional. Well, OP, no, of course you're not the a-hole because you are being traditional. Here's the thing. You don't have a father, you have a progenitor. And your mom took that role as a father for you. She was both mom and dad for you. So the way I see it, it's just right that she should be the one walking you down the aisle. Now, if I'm being truly honest, here's the thing. You shouldn't be walking down the aisle at all, at least not with that a-hole of a boyfriend that you have right now. Who the hell does he think he is contacting your sperm donor because he thinks it's the right thing to do? Get the hell out of here, man. Nobody gave you that attribution. OP, I would take this as the red flag that it is and just call the whole thing off and tell him to go be traditional in a tree. Because this is the first time, but it's not gonna be the last time that he behaves this way, that he is the one in the right and you're just a horrible person. F him. And what do you guys think about this whole thing? What is your judgment regarding the situation and how would you handle it? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Admirable Avocado says, not the a-hole. Your fiance sounds like a groomzilla and his family sounds horrible. You're sure you want to marry into this circus? Your mom walking you down the aisle sounds absolutely gorgeous. Neither your fiance nor his family seems to respect or take you seriously. That'd be a deal breaker for me, to be honest. Intrepid Potential 60 says, this is the dude you plan to spend the rest of your life with? Him and his surrounding cast? Say it out loud to yourself. This utter prick is who you are signing up to spend the rest of your life with, and therefore is surrounding cast as well. Say it louder. Are you really going to spend your life with this man? Were you my daughter, you'd be getting some message from me too. Pleading, use your head, not your heart. Forget Regret One Day says, oh wow, this is 100 red flags waving in your face. Please see them for what they are. The scariest phrase of all is for you to be the woman you're supposed to be. What kind of expectations are coming at you in the future? Your father isn't a father and never was. Your fiance is dangerously overstepping by contacting this person you have no relationship with after you say no. And all for appearances? Or is it his belief that a man controls a woman? So much here, but I would listen to your wise mom and think very hard about this relationship. I wish you the best, but everything about his behavior scares me for you, not the a-hole for having a non-father anywhere near you. And Wishanu says, 100% massive red flag here. A fiance who knows and truly loves you would have embraced your wish to have your mother walk you down the aisle and would have completely understood why. Throwing a temper tantrum and storming out like he did should be all the proof you need that he is not a person you need to be spending the rest of your life with. Because I can 100% guarantee that he will do this over and over and over anytime he doesn't get his way. You deserve a real partner and someone who truly gets you. Lose this loser, not the a-hole. Alright, well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that she shouldn't get married to Mr. Temper Tantrum. What a douche. Anyways, let's move on to the update to see how the story ends. Hello everyone, Heart. I posted my last post 8 hours ago, and since then I have had the time to think about what I really want. I have come to the decision, with help from all of you and the person who messaged me, you know who you are, I will not be going forward with this marriage and will be cutting contact with my ex-fiance and his family. I have no clue what he will do when he meets up with my father, but I will be having no part of it. I will be keeping this post up so anyone in a similar situation can read the comments, but I will no longer be posting on here and will be keeping my breakup private. I am so grateful for all of you and the support, apart from a select few. I hope all of you have a lovely day and night. Heart. OP's edit. I will be getting a lawyer just in case and will be taking precautions to keep safe. Smiley face with hearts. Well, OP, there's not much to say except good for you, great decision making, and here's wishing you the best in the future. Thank you so much for sharing and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.